and welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy Mayhem, and this is actually the first video that I am going to be uploading. I'm sorry if I started the viewfinder. My camera just died as I hooked it up to the viewfinder that's on my phone too. It's kind of weird. Anyways, my best friend, I'll link her down below in the description. She's been doing YouTube for about 5 years now, and she's been encouraging me to start my own channel. So here it is. Today, I was going to do a best friend tag with her just because it seems appropriate, but she's feeling frizzy. So, no shade. I love you, Ariel. But that means that today is going to be a story time. Story time, so as you probably gathered from the title of this video, today's story time is about why I married my baby daddy. I actually really hate the term baby daddy because of course I did end up marrying him. He is both of my children's father, but he is what he is. So to start from the beginning, I had originally met, we'll call him Eric. I'm not going to use his real name because he is not in the kid's life anymore, but I don't want to cause any drama. So Eric, I originally met in high school. I was dating a guy for 4 years, off and on, you know, break up, get together, break up, get together, and in between those breakups, we would date other people. And one of those people one time was Eric. But yeah, that only lasted maybe 2 weeks during that time, so that I could go back with the other guy, because I don't know what's good for me. Just like any other teenager. So Eric was also that guy's best friend, his wingman and everything. So he knew everything about me, everything that was wrong in that relationship. So around junior year of high school, I stopped seeing the other guy, and kind of sorta was with Eric. I actually told him that it was going to be a summer fling, and I had full intentions of breaking up with him in September because I would be doing my senior year of high school in college. We have a program here where your junior and senior year you can take college classes that count as high school and college. It's called dual enrollment. Thank God I actually did that and got my associate's degree at the same time that I graduated high school. So because I was so focused on school, I was like, you know what, I don't have time for a relationship, so it's just gonna be a summer fling, we have fun, it's all good. And then I never actually ended up breaking up with him. I started having feelings for him. So anyways, in junior year, I was really focused on my school and everything. I made it all the way through high school. With him, he was really supportive of my studies. We had a lot of good times together. I did do a lot of stupid stuff when I was with him too, and there were just some really dark times during that, and that's another story, another day. I swear to God, this is not going to be a story time channel. And so I made it all the way through high school, college, all that, got my associates, and then I started on my bachelor's degree in early childhood education. I was going to be a school teacher. I wanted to be an art teacher. So I got about 2.5 months into my bachelor's degree, and I was not feeling it. I wasn't having fun. I realized that kids were not my thing, not little kids at least. So I was getting ready to drop out of my bachelor's program. And 2 weeks before that, I had broken up with Eric. We were fighting all the time. He just prioritized drugs, whereas I was prioritizing my career and my education. You know, his mother was a drug dealer, so I'm not gonna make any excuses. That's a whole other thing. So I broke up with him. And that same week that I dropped out of college, I found out I was pregnant. I was 19. I was on birth control at the time. And I was also on methotrexate. So I actually have had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis since I was 14. One of the treatments for that is methotrexate. It is a chemotherapy drug that is used to lower the immune system, since rheumatoid arthritis is a rheumatological disorder, meaning that the immune system is not behaving like it should. And in my case, mine was attacking my joints, causing arthritis. So to help with that, I took methotrexate. There are a lot of studies saying that you should not get pregnant, you shouldn't be pregnant. Nothing about babies with that. It's not healthy, it's not good, and honestly, you shouldn't be able to get pregnant with it. And here I am. So, my parents were not in my life. My grandparents actually raised me, and I decided that I was going to keep the baby. I have my own issues, and I guess it was a personal form of therapy for me. I know that's a really bad reasoning to actually decide to keep a child, but at the time it seemed solid. And I now have a beautiful 4-year-old daughter because of it. So I swear to God, I'm going to get to the part where I decided to marry the person that I just said I broke up with 2 weeks before I found out I was pregnant with this baby, that I never wanted kids. So at that point, we were not together. I had started going to the gym. I was going to join the military. I was going to join the Navy. I was about 2 weeks into that after I quit my bachelor's program. Called him, told him I was pregnant, and we had a really long conversation about if he did not want to be in this baby's life, he was free to walk away. I would put that I didn't know who the kid's father was. Then he wouldn't be held accountable, responsible, nothing. Or he could choose to be in the kid's life. Not saying that we would be together, but that he wanted to co-parent. So he chose to stay. He went from living here in Florida to moving to Alabama with his family because he couldn't get a job here, a steady, decent, good-paying job. So he moved to Alabama. He started working at a tea factory.
So I always used to say he was a professional tea bagger. That's a really bad Fortnite joke. Back then it was really funny, or Call of Duty. It was a really funny joke.
It's kind of old now. So, yeah, it was long distance. We lived exactly 632 miles away from each other throughout almost the entire pregnancy. So we became very close friends throughout the pregnancy. And, we still fought periodically, but it was okay. So then my daughter came around. I had her, and it was a very difficult delivery. I'll probably do another story time eventually about the pregnancies and deliveries, but it was difficult. And fast forward like a month, I'm doing the whole single mom thing, going to school, and then our daughter got really sick. She was in the hospital for a month with a mystery disease that ended up being super rare, but it took a month. It was a mystery disease. At one point I was told she has blood cancer. At one point I was told she was going to die, that they didn't know what she had. It was, I'm actually gonna cry. It was the worst experience of my life, because I put my entire life on hold for this one human being that would eventually change my entire life for the better and save my life. And I was told that she might be taken away from me at a month old, and there was nothing I could do. I pushed everybody away that lived here, and the only person that I think understood what I was going through was Eric. So we got even closer during that period of time. I stayed at the hospital every night. I never went home for a month. I didn't go home. It was school and the hospital. I had family bringing me food. Family was bringing me changes of clothes. I was showering at the hospital, in the doctor's lounge. It was a lot. So they finally figured out what was wrong with her. We got her on the right medication. She was a very sickly child, very high maintenance, and about 6 months old. When she was about 6 months old, I had just graduated from my technical program. I now had a degree in medical administration, and where I'm at, there's only one hospital system, and if you don't get into that hospital system, it's very hard to get a private doctor job. And being fresh out of technical school, almost nobody's going to hire you. So I made the difficult choice to move to Alabama, where there were multiple health systems, multiple hospitals within a tri-city area. The cost of living was lower, and I moved up there into a small cottage in Eric's grandmother's property. and I moved with our daughter. After that, it just started becoming like a game of house, and Alabama is very Southern Baptist. Very, if you're living together, if you have children together, you should be married. So I started doing the whole white picket fence thing, and we ended up getting married. Let's see, May, June, July, August, September, October. So 6 months after I moved to Alabama, we got married. It was a small church wedding. Some of our family showed up. Not really many of our friends or family showed up. And I guess we were okay with that. I hated my wedding. I hated it. I hated my dress. Everything went wrong. I hated it. But it's what I was supposed to do. So I played the happy wife and mom, and we went to church together, and we became, the youth group pastors, because I still love teenagers and, teaching teenagers. So I ended up being one of the assistant youth ministers at our small church for the teenagers, middle school and high schoolers. So that answers the question, why did I marry my baby daddy? Because it's what I thought I was supposed to do. Now, that was back in 2015, and let's see, October 2015. By May of 2018, we were divorced. Because you shouldn't marry somebody that you are not 100% sure that you want to spend the rest of your life with, or that you're marrying for the right reasons. And I did not get married for the right reasons. Eventually, our marriage fell apart. He lost his job. Come to find out, he's actually a high-functioning autistic, which made it very difficult for him to keep a job. And I ended up being the one making all the money in the house, which put a huge strain on our relationship. And we ended up moving back home to Florida, moving in with my grandmother, because we couldn't afford to live by ourselves because he couldn't keep a job. When we moved home to Florida, a bunch of other problems started back up. He started back on drugs, and he didn't have money for those drugs, and it spiraled out of control from there. And I forgot to mention that we also, in between that time, had a son together. Again, I was on the Mirena IUD, and got pregnant with my son. My son was actually born February of 2018, and Eric was also kicked out February of 2018, 2 weeks, just a little bit more than 2 weeks before our son was born. Now he doesn't see the kids. It's been a year since he's seen the kids. If I could tell my 19-year-old self anything, not that she would listen, it would be to walk away and not have told him that you were pregnant. I know somebody's probably going to come at me for saying that, but in hindsight, the effects of the divorce and losing her dad on my daughter, that would have been best for her. And I'm happy with the life that I have now, so it's kind of hard to say that I would change it. But for any 19-year-old or any young girl that got pregnant with somebody that they were not in a super committed relationship with, I would think very hard about marrying them, because a baby's not going to fix it. A baby is not a reason to stay together. So this has been my TED Talk on stupid decisions that I have made. If you liked this video, probably not, but in the rare case that you have, I am, as I said before, starting a channel, so please feel free to subscribe down below, hit that like button, let me know that I was not the most absolutely boring person in the world. If you have made it this far, I think the emo kid in me wants to say, have a cookie. I need to give you a cookie. I'm also going to try to link my social media right over there. This is my first video. I have no idea what I'm doing. Anyways, you lovely people, have a wonderful night. I am going to go to bed because I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which I suck at, and I know I will not get up until probably 7. Have a good night.